some guy messaged Breakfast Ball. Your 90-day fog theory was confirmed in Des Moines today. We had heavy fog 90 days ago and woke up to heavy storms this morning with some more potentially on the way.
Oh,
Do you remember how much fog we had this winter and how much rain we've had this summer?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know how we keep ending up back on this fog theory, but it works.
I mean, after we talk fog theory, we have to wait 90 days.
That's true.
Or, we have to there's going to be some grace period there.
We gotta I always forget to check. I never leave a reminder.
I don't either. It's almost like you have to have one of those physical calendars that teachers used to have back in the day on their desk. Mm-hmm. And you gotta write down when we had fog and then mark 90 days after that. When we should
get a countdown app.
Yeah. You could get a countdown app. Yep. 82 days until a massive storm.
Last night it was bad.
And I mean, that's
I slept right through that shit. I just woke up to my garbage cans tipped over, and
my truck was flipped over in the driveway.
Easy, flip that thing back over one hand.
Yeah, a tree fucking split the middle of my living room.
I got a question for you though. If you're in a storm and you get personally injured, can you sue the storm?
I think you can sue Mother Nature.
You could sue Mother Nature. I bet you if there's a lawyer out there that could sue Mother Nature, it'd be the lawyer that presents us. It is Russell Nicolay.
What a great segue.
You like that? Welcome back to episode 200.
Is it 200?
200.
Damn.
We booted Jake for episode 200. We are presented by Nicolay Law. So if you ever find yourself getting effed up by Mother Nature, if there's anyone that can get you some compensation out of that, it is the folks at Nicolay Law, because even the storm fears the beard.
Ooh, wow.
I'm fucking firing now for Nicolay. I hope I can use this for golf talk too later.
Keep going.
Family affair. Number one. I lost it.
Find it again.
Nicolay Law is a family affair. So if anyone knows how to handle Mother Nature, it's them.
Who's the oldest? Do you know?
I have no idea, but I know Russell's mom works with them.
Okay.
It's quite literally his entire family has some sort of role in Nicolay. So when you see Nicolay and you always see people's last names on businesses and you're like, wow, it's one guy that started it 60 years ago. No, you get the whole Nicolay family, literally. So yeah, if you find yourself injured in anything, not just the storm, check out NicolayLaw.com.
Boom.
Big episode, Ryan.
Yeah, I know you forgot it was even 200.
Yeah, no, you didn't, because you told me you have something really exciting for today, and I'm just super pumped to hear it.
Really?
Yeah. What was the thing you got? I'm just fucking with you, Ryan. Didn't tell me that. I'm just putting him on the spot.
I mean, I wish I had something exciting to tell you guys. What's not exciting is that Trevor went to the course that I golf at the lake.
You didn't run into him, did you?
I didn't know.
Thank
I
God.
ran into his wife actually.
What?
Did you say hi?
I didn't know if it was her, and I didn't want to be like
Meg.
But I was like, I don't want to be awkward, so I was like, I'm just gonna let it be. And
That's understandable. Did you make eye contact?
Not really.
Because she never mentioned anything to me.
No.
So he's been out there twice in the last 2 weeks, and I still have yet to receive any sort of text.
I think that's fine, because what do you do when you run into Trevor? You're like, hey, Trevor.
Well, no, hey, I'm going to be heading out to your neck of the woods this weekend.
The only time we've ever ran into Trevor on the golf course, he has to take a picture with us.
That was
4 years ago.
Did you ever think you'd be what a wild turn of events, actually.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
I think I'd see you around, guys, but I didn't think I'd see you here every day working with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was in Shields the other day, and one of our Canadian listeners.
Fuck yeah, I love Canadians.
We were just walking in an aisle right by each other and kind of made eye contact. And I typically I'm good at telling what the eye contact means nowadays when you get recognized a little bit more. And sure shit, I kind of just said hi. And then we started chatting it up. He's like, hey man, huge fan of the Double Bogey Show, up from Canada down to see some family. But yeah.
We get asked this question all the time on YBR. What state would you move to if you couldn't live in the Midwest? We actually answered it last week. The answer is a province. I would move to Canada. I fucking love Canada.
Really?
Yep.
You like guns?
Yeah. I mean, I can
don't anymore.
I can get the guns I like in Canada still.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, they're not going to stop me from hunting, and they love hunting.
They got some beautiful golf courses too.
I lived
out in university place, Tacoma, Washington, after I graduated college, and went up to British Columbia a couple times to play some tournaments, and the golf up there would be unbelievable.
I think we talked about this, but like my favorite kind of destination course is a mountain course.
For sure.
Mountain course is just like we've played some absolutely 10 out of 10 gorgeous desert courses in Arizona. I've played some awesome tropical courses on the East Coast, like Myrtle Beach and Pawleys Island and whatnot. Nothing. And then I played in Idaho dog tracks, but they were in the mountains and they were cooler.
I did play in Alaska, and
And you
Moose
saw a
Run.
fucking bear and a moose. And
Saw bear, moose, coyote. I mean, you name it all. We
Hell
saw
yeah.
it.
Top tier golf destination.
And the course in Alaska, like it wasn't crazy nice. I think it was maybe like $50 or $60 to play. But when you're in, like when you have that sort of atmosphere, it doesn't matter how nice the course is. That was the one where it was an old military base that they made into a golf course. And what they did was they bulldozed a bunch of trees down and then just buried them underground. So you could like take your club and like hit it on the fairway, and it sounds hollow.
That's cool.
underneath because of all the gaps of the trees.
Was it named Hollow? Something Hollow?
Hollow Pines.
Yeah, Hollow Pines. Was that the name of the course?
No, it was Moose Run.
Okay.
Right
And you
outside
did see a moose
Anchorage.
run.
I did, yeah. I saw a moose run. I saw a bear chasing a coyote, black bear chasing a coyote.
It's like when they finish the final green, they're like, what's the first thing we see? That's what we'll name this course.
Yeah. I like where your head's at. That brings me to a good point, though. It's like people, when I was younger, growing up a baseball player, I always heard of people saying, I would love to visit every major league stadium one day, which I think is a cool, like it's a bucket list item to go to every single stadium.
Yeah, I think that's one of Jake's bucket lists.
Is it?
Deals, yeah.
Okay. What would be cool is to be able to golf in every single state.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Because it's not like, I mean, you could you can't really put like I would like to golf every major course, like the baseball reference, because it changes, So to golf in all,
I mean,
50
you could
states.
make that a thing. It could be, I want to golf every U.S. Open course,
Yeah, that is true.
or I want to golf every Open course,
Yep.
because those are the two that change.
Yeah, the Open. You go to Scotland, you'd probably spend 2-3 weeks there. Because I think it's been at like,
You'd be fucking broke though with this.
Yeah.
what's it been at like? It's been, the Open has been in double-digit locations. I believe it's a revolving.
Yeah,
Can we confirm that? How many different courses has the Open been at?
Yeah, I think we Googled it one time. It was like a rotation of 8 or 6 or something like
Yeah,
that.
they had it on air when the tournament was going on, but that would be kind of cool. I mean, like if you can check off Alaska and Hawaii, then everything kind of becomes a little easier.
Yep.
So I don't know. I probably have 43 states left.
Yeah,
We got a little ways to go.
I got
but
Wisconsin, Minnesota, North Dakota, Iowa, Arizona, and South Carolina checked. Idaho and Montana as well. So that's a pretty decent
Damn.
start.
okay, I have
I'm at 3.
North Dakota,
3?
South Dakota, Minnesota.
No, North Dakota, Minnesota, and Missouri.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Missouri too.
Missouri.
We've golfed in Missouri.
Yeah. So I have Alaska.
Yeah, so you got one of the hard ones checked.
Yeah.
Yes, I have Alaska. Did I ever golf in Oregon? I don't think I did. Alaska, North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, Nebraska, Missouri, South Carolina, Florida, Arizona. I
Dude,
think that's it.
You're a
So that's
10th
9.
You're almost a 10th of the way there.
So I got 41 left.
And a lot of those are easy peasy. Like
Yeah, I mean, you can take a quick trip south.
Oh yeah,
like,
I golf
can't-
South Dakota too. Yeah, that's my list as well.
Yep.
Deadwood.
Deadwood. Yep. So yeah, that would kind of be like I don't know. It's like the collecting the quarters, the state quarters. Like you collect a ball from.
You get a
every
ball
state.
marker. Yep.
Yeah, I got to reach out to my buddies in Alaska and say, hey, can you send me an Alaska inscripted ball?
No. Moose Run.
Yeah. So
I mean, it'd be a hell of a lot cheaper, I think, to just golf a course in all 50 states rather than golfing the U.S. Open courses.
for sure,
Yeah.
because you could
Because
golf.
like one round at a U.S. Open course is going to cost you like 4 states at Publix.
Yes, and like you could also do it where, I mean, you look at Busta Jack, they did 50 states in 50 weeks. That's actually fucking crazy.
That's a grind.
I don't know. I don't think people understand how difficult, like logistically, how difficult that would be.
You just got to be like away for 50 weeks almost.
Yeah, it's or you like you golf like 2 or 3 different states in a weekend, or like over a 3-4 day span, and then you go home for a week, and then I don't know how.
Logistically, it's a nightmare, especially with children.
Yes. So.
But speaking of children, I have started a Friday morning golf tradition of golfing with my child.
The inaugural is done.
The
inaugural round of the morning golf tradition.
Oh
Did
yeah,
it last week.
Yeah.
Was that your first?
No,
time?
second.
Okay.
Second in a row.
Second annual. Or second.
Second weekly. Second weekly Friday morning golf rounds with the boy and another friend. But it went awesome.
So does he ask you to go out, or do you just say like, hey buddy, like we're going to go golfing Friday morning?
He's
4, right?
Yeah. He thinks all golf courses are named Forest Hills.
Okay.
Which is the name of a golf course in Detroit Lakes. But he's like, so he'll ask me to go to Forest Hills. But typically he's just asking to play in the yard and shit. And then I'll wake him up early, like, hey, don't wake your brother up. We're going golfing. And be like, fuck yeah. And he's
nice.
up. Any other morning, he's like pulling teeth to get that kid out of bed. But you tell him we're going golfing, he is up, ready to go.
That. Yeah.
But the curse is broken. Like we talked about, I played Osgood a while ago. It was 3.5 hours. They did better the last time I was there. Much faster. But I went to Peawood National with him, Prairie Wood in Fargo. Friday morning, 7:20 tee time, hour and 6 minutes.
It's not bad.
With a buddy and a 4-year-old kid. That is how golf should be played.
What time?
7:20. 7:20.
That definitely raises your chances of
but like
on and off.
I booked it online, and we were supposed to play with another twosome. There was tee times booked all around us. We let a solo through on hole 2, and after that, it was off to the races. He was zooming. There was a group of old guys behind us that couldn't keep up, and so I found 10 balls. My kid got to play. He played. It is the par 3, hole 7.
Okay.
Hole 7, the long par 3. He played the whole hole. Typically, I just let him hit a couple drives and then he can putt when we get to the green. He played the whole hole. We didn't have a single person pressuring us. It was absolutely perfect. Number 1 round this year, I had an absolute blast. He had a blast. I had a blast. We were just dicking around the whole time.
My 2-year-old, I can't get him to focus enough on. No, I have a perfect practice putt, Matt, whatever. And I brought it out this last weekend, and he wants me to unroll that thing every single day. But then, like I was kind of showing him how you try and make it in the hole, and then he just proceeded to take like his little like plastic balls and just like drop them in the hole.
Yep.
I think it's
just as fun.
I think it's a good start.
But yeah.
So when you say your kid played the entire hole on that par 3, like what? Like so he took a tee shot and he took a second shot, hit a green and reg, and then 2 putted for bogey, or
yeah,
what?
Absolutely.
Okay.
No.
From 180.
It was probably on that hole. He probably shot a 25,
Okay.
which I've seen Jake do. So
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah. Do you make him play from the tee boxes, or do you have him hit in the middle of the fairway?
he plays whites. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, it's because typically what we do is there's a group in front of us. So while we wait for them, he just hits like 5 tee shots, runs and gets his ball, and then chills in the cart. We hit our tee shots, and then we get to the green. And I brought a box of donut holes, and the game was I would drop his ball somewhere on the green. I'd be like, all right. I'd give him X amount of shots. You got 4 shots to get it in the hole. If you get it in the hole, you get a donut.
Did he ever start?
Hey.
Did he
No,
ever
he was
start,
fucking dialed, dude.
Did he ever start trying to play with the donut hole though? Like
No,
dropping
no.
that, you know.
No, he scarfed.
Fuck, I'm out of golf balls. Well, we do have donut holes, so I'll maybe just throw one of that instead of the marshmallow. That's actually
Yeah.
a great play.
Yeah.
Great prank for the groups behind you.
Like, is that a brown golf ball on the tee?
Well, no,
Nope.
the powder
Yeah.
donuts.
Oh yeah. Well, these are just brownies, but yeah, that's a good prank. I take that.
Huh.
It doesn't fuck the grass up as much either, like the marshmallows.
Well, and plus you're like, I don't know. I feel like marshmallows could be detrimental to birds because there's like they could like
That checks out. I don't know for sure, but I believe you.
sticky and like if it gets hot, it could.
You think so?
I don't know.
But yeah, it's like people don't talk about this enough, that having a kid and getting them to do what you want is a lot like training a dog.
Dude,
He had zero focus whatsoever on the greens until I was like, hey, there is a treat on the line.
Yeah, you treat train him.
And then he is straight up, he's looking at the putts. I'm sure he got that just from watching us, but he's like looking at putts. He wasn't lining it up, but then he'd stand over the ball. He'll do like 4 or 5 lookovers.
Yep, because he sees you do that.
Gauge his distance. And he was absolutely dialed from there on out. Every hole was, I'm going to get a fucking donut on this one.
I'm glad you made the dog training reference because before we had our child, I kind of just assumed that was how it was going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like not exactly like it,
Right.
obviously, but there are some very big similarities between the two because
especially when they get to toddler age. Toddlers are
Exactly.
just upright dogs.
yeah, when you have a 4, 5, 6 month old puppy that you're trying to train and they want to just like bite you in the hand and not listen and run away from you. They think it's all a game. People looked at me like I was fucking nuts. They're like, you don't even know what you're signing up for. It's nothing. It's like, yes, it is kind of similar because again, treat training. If you want to get your kid to do something, it's like, hey, what's something you really like? Okay, a donut hole. If you put this ball into the hole, I'll give you. It's simple. It's black and white. So thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, it was a fun way to get him to lock the fuck in.
Yeah,
And he did. So I needed to start doing that with myself. But like, all right, Tyler, if you don't 3-putt here, you get a little something special. Like I could before the round, but like if you have 0 3-putts this whole round, you can buy a new hat from the clubhouse.
That's actually a great point, Tyler. Like people have these, if they have something in life that they want to buy, right? They set a goal of like, hey, let's just say I want to buy a new driver. Okay. So if you don't want to drop $450 or $500 on a new driver, be like, all right, every time you hit a fairway, you put $1 into your new driver fund. And then it's like, after you hit 450 fairways, it might take, that would probably take me about 8-9 years.
Yeah.
Then let's go $2. Then eventually you get enough money where you can buy yourself a new driver. And it's like, it's a little bit more motivation to like stay focused on the tee box and start hitting fairways.
I mean, we kind of already do this with like, we've talked about, hey, you want to buy new clubs? Well, set yourself a goal. Like once you break 90, then you can get your new clubs.
Correct.
But yeah, I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna start treating myself like a dog internally.
Well, and I feel like too, what you're doing with the donut holes is I can't remember who said it, but they said it during a golf interview where every time this is a professional golfer, every time they would go out and golf with their little boy, they would like get ice cream afterwards or something like
Just
that.
creating positive memories around the game rather than dad getting pissed at you for screwing off in the sand.
Yes. So every time you bring your kid out golfing, like that's what he's going to remember is like, oh man, when my dad and I used to golf on Friday mornings, we used to have donut holes every single morning. And I fucking loved that. So I really like what you're doing there. And I think whether he likes the game at 14 years old or he takes 15 years off like we did and picks it up back at 25, 30 years old, he's going to remember that.
Yep. It's all about making memories. Memories and babies. Is that Friday Night Lights?
You got plenty of them.
Yep. So on the flip side, I know that round went phenomenally. The first hole, we did have to wait. And the second hole, we did have to wait a little bit. Did not get bored whatsoever because we had a 4-year-old to entertain us. But I was thinking, why isn't there other forms of entertainment to do while you're waiting for the group in front of you? Like we have the tee box game, right? We call it rat race. The rest of the world calls it snake. The rest of or 15 other different things. Poison.
Yep.
We have that. That is it to entertain yourself while you wait for groups with slow play. Like what else can we do? Like we've talked about, you can gamble on the group in front of you, but like that gets old real quick.
Sit on your phone. It's usually my go-to.
I just fucking hate that though.
I know.
I hate when anyone's on their phone for anything other than important, like family shit or 18 birdies.
Dude, I also hate that. And I even feel bad like when I have my phone like up close to where the driver or the passenger of the cart can't see what I'm doing. When I'm on the 18 birdies app, it makes me feel like they think I'm texting or doing something like that. So normally I like hold it down and maybe like tilt it a little bit.
Like, hey, I'm still invested in this game.
Exactly.
You're not boring.
Yep.
But like, what if they like, we have those touch screens in a whole bunch of things, right? Like they gotta give us like a touch screen game. Like, you know, when you eat at a restaurant and they give you the little tablet and you can like fuck around and play solitaire on it. What if we had that in the golf cart?
Well, I mean, you can even like at bars, they now have like tablet gambling.
Yeah.
It's like a tablet slot machine. So like, hey,
dude, a casino course would make a killing if there was a slot machine in your cart.
Oh
yeah,
my
you
God.
give them like $100 at the beginning of the round. They put the credits in there. You can play $100 throughout the whole round of 18.
Especially if they know it's going to be a slow day. They're like, hey, we put some money in your cart for you. Give you something to do in between tee boxes.
Yeah, or even if the slot, like if the game on the slot was designed to transfer over to like a golf game for that hole.
Yeah.
So like, hey, if you hit a $5 winner, then like that hole is worth $5. So whatever, like, so let's say you and your playing partner both put $50 on the whatever gambling machine is in the cart, and then if you're winning money, like either all of that goes to the person who wins the round, or if you're losing money, the person who loses the round has to reimburse you all the way back up to your $50 or something like that. On like another way for pace of play entertainment, even if they had like a little tiny like collapsible net to where you could put a little tiny net, let's say you put it on, you're playing blues, you put it on the white tee box. And you can just start playing a chipping game. Get a bunch of balls out of your bag. I mean, if you're really stacked up like cordwood, just start chipping into nets is the best.
It is fun. It's very therapeutic. The problem is you could just do that. You just don't need a net. Just try to chip it close to a tee marker.
You could do that, but
we did that in the 3.5 hour round at Osgood.
Sure. There's something about having a ball land into a target or a net.
It feels good.
It feels very good.
Unless that target is water.
That's what I like about Osgood.
Oh, sorry. I got to interrupt before I lose this thought. Hole 9 at Prairie Wood, right? I have kept the breakfast ball in my pocket the whole round. I have not used it. I bury one as far into the most middle of the water you can get.
Oh, okay.
Equal distance from every shoreline. So as far into the water as you can hit on that hole. I tee up my breakfast ball, another one in the water, right? So I'm like, all right, well, that's 2 in the water. I'm going to take my drop. And we are driving up to the green and my son stops. He's like, Dad, can I hit one into the water? I was like, why do you want to do that? He's like, you do it. And I was like, you little shit. Like, yeah, here you go. Here's a broken nitro. And he loved it. He thought it was the coolest shit that he got to send one into the water. And I was like, this isn't the fun part.
Dude, hitting balls into water is the fun, like, as entertainment.
Yeah, I don't want this to become a habit for him. Like, hey, buddy, this one time you can hit in the water. The rest, you don't want to do it. You don't want to.
There are
It's like the Family Guy quote or
whatever. It was exactly like that.
When am I supposed to aim for the water? No, you're not supposed to hit into the water. Well, you do it.
It's like, God damn it, Lois.
That's actually a good point. Where are some of the best places to hit golf balls that you normally wouldn't? I'd say number 1 is into a net.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 would be hitting balls into a lake.
Mm-hmm. Bodies of water are sweet. There's a water range in DL that's really cool.
Water ranges to me, even if it's like like any driving range could just dig a big, okay, again, this is so hypothetical. Get a fucking payload excavator out there, dig a big ass hole, get it filled with water, and then slope it, and then have a water range or part of a water range.
Yes, it is very cool, but to take your regular range, which is easier to maintain,
definitely,
and turn it into water range just because it's sweet, not fiscally responsible, but creatively responsible for sure.
Another super therapeutic place to hit golf balls is off of some sort of elevated surface. Like Three Bears, for instance, is a good example. Out at Three Bears Golf Course, very, very up and down. If you can get on an elevated tee box, grab a shit ball out of your bag and just hit it as far as you
launch it into the wilderness.
Yeah. You know, it's like, hey, Like, does a bear shit in the woods? It does. Am I going to be hitting balls off elevated surfaces into the wilderness? I sure am.
I think my favorite place to hit a ball is into the hole, because we're talking about places we don't do it often.
That is
I'm
phenomenal.
typically just getting it close enough to pick it up.
Yep.
But yeah. Well,
Jesus.
Speaking of hitting balls into holes, are you done? Good round last Friday morning?
it was fine. 43.
Okay. We're getting back on track then.
Yeah.
If you double that, you shoot 86. Well, I Prairie Wood is par 32. So
Par 32. Yeah, it was 10 over. So I think it's par 33.
okay.
Anyway, doesn't matter.
Just when I had everything figured out, you guys, the last 2 rounds I went 76, 78. This last weekend was an absolute nightmare. Multiple factors went into it. And granted, I shot 87. I didn't have a terrible round. And it's a pretty tough course. We were out at MCC. My cart partner, I've never partnered up with this guy in a cart before. So there wasn't the original, like, you didn't already the good vibes were flowing, but the good rapport wasn't quite there yet.
It takes
to
a few
feel each
holes.
other out. So.
Yeah. Like,
for
you got to
sure.
feel this person out. And I was driving. If I'm playing with someone I normally don't, I'm driving for sure. Cause I don't know what type of golf cart driver they are. So I have to take control. So that was number one factor. Number two was I hit the first fairway off the tee box, no breakfast ball. Hit the first fairway, dead center. After that, I don't think I hit a single fairway. And when I'm talking about not hitting fairways, I'm talking about like 40 to 50 yard misses off the fairway.
I've never played this course, but I've heard the fairways are notoriously tight.
Yes.
They're very tight.
So like on a regular course, you're only 15 yards off the fairway if you're 50 on this one.
Probably. And
'Cause I've ridden my bike to this course. I've never played it.
There is something about having trees on both sides of the fairway. There's just something mentally that fucks me up to where I'm not notorious for like, all right, you pick a really small target and then aim at that. And even if you miss that target, you still might hit. I'm not diving that deep into it. I'm taking my practice swing. I'm stepping up to the ball and I'm taking another practice swing. And that worked for a couple months. And now I think I've reverted away from it. So I just cannot hit a fucking fairway with this driver. So that hurt me because when you're punching shots out of the woods, you're playing for bogey at that point.
But God, that's one of the coolest recovery shots though.
It is, but I keep telling people like
finding a gap in between trees is probably the coolest recovery shot in golf.
Oh, it's phenomenal. And like when you're driving up to your ball too, you're like, you're just praying for a gap, like a little up high so you can possibly have a second shot into the green. But if I'm playing with someone who's struggling, I'm a big proponent of like, hey, kick this ball out 5 feet to your left so you have a decent shot. Because how are guys like us who are double digit handicaps supposed to get good at to get better at golf when we're just punching out of the woods?
Yeah.
You can't, you know?
You get good at that type of shit.
Hey, it's a great shot to have in the bag when you need it.
Yep.
But when you're, let's see, 2 par 3s aside, so let's say 14 fairways to be hit and to miss 13 of them, I'm not getting better at golf.
You're getting better at punching. That's
I'm
it.
getting better at the punch shots. And let's see, I think it was hole 13 or 14. It's a par 5. I shot a legitimate 10.
Oof.
Jesus.
Oof. That's an 8 on the scorecard if you're wondering.
Yep.
So what do you mean an 8 on the scorecard?
That's our
We
max.
don't write
baby.
down
That's
okay,
our
okay.
We
max.
max out at 8.
I wanted to punish myself after that hole because of just how disastrous it went. So I put a 10 on the scorecard. And you know, I'm a man of integrity. I'm not gonna, you know, put fucking par when I hit a bogey. Like that's a big difference. So I'll put a 10 on the scorecard. Still shot 87, which, you know, you take 5 stroke. If I par that hole, shoot 82. I also had 2 double bogeys. And I had 0 birdies. I couldn't get off the tee box. But here's where I was going with this. My buddy who shot a 76 personal best the same day I did, hole number 10 hits one of the best. It's like it is 220 yards straight down the middle, and then it is a 90-degree angle to the left to the pin. So
Okay.
you either have to take a 45-degree angle over the trees, or you hit a 220-yard shot straight, and then you have about 130 in.
Okay.
He takes the corner, hits it exactly where he needs to, and he ends up probably 45 to 50 yards from the green,
Okay.
dead center of the fairway. Hits his chip shot, and by this time I'm standing up by the green. I'm probably like 10 feet away from the pin. So he hits his second shot, bounces once, bounces twice, and dunks into the hole for eagle.
Damn.
Let's go.
And to be able to see it that close from like 10 feet away from the pin was the sweetest feeling
Hell yeah.
ever.
Was this Alan?
No, this is my buddy Jared.
Okay.
Yeah, this is my buddy
I was
Jared.
going to say, because how did he not tell us?
No, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my buddy Jared. He eagle. I don't know if he's ever gotten an eagle on that course before, but legitimate eagle chip in from like 50 yards was fucking crazy.
Hell yeah. That is sweet.
And
Good
even
for
when you're
him.
having a bad round, like if you can't get hyped up for a buddy in that situation, you probably just got it.
No, wrong sport for you.
Wrong sport.
Yeah, like no matter how much money I'm losing to you or how bad I'm playing that day, like if I don't get excited when you hit a good shot like that, if you were to do that and I don't feel anything for it, I'm not gonna golf for a while.
You can't.
Like if you're not getting pumped for your friends, like why are you golfing with them?
I want to say it was probably. Let's see. I think it was 2 or 3 holes later. Par 3. It was like 150 downhill. Little wind at our back. Now, mind you, my buddy Jared is like probably a 12 handicap, 15 handicap. He puts one directly on the pin, like a foot and a half past. So from straight on from the tee box, looking at the pin, it looks like he is an inch away from a hole in one.
Mm-hmm.
So he taps that in for birdie, and he was 3 under through 3 holes on the back. It was my round didn't seem like I was pissed because I couldn't hit a fucking fairway, but it was so much less because he was playing like he was playing.
Yeah, it's as long if you could find the group that keeps your vibe up, even when you're playing bad, you have found your group of golfers.
100%.
It is so important to enjoy the game. It's such an important piece of enjoying the game is golfing with the correct people.
Absolutely.
Like if you're a serious golfer, there's nothing wrong with that. You just got to find other guys that are as serious as you. It's a lot harder than it sounds to find the right group, but it's just so important to enjoying the game of golf and really getting into it and starting to love it.
Well, that I was thinking over the weekend too. When you run into like old friends or acquaintances or whatever, and golf is a very good icebreaker conversation for guys our age because a lot of us play it. And you get to talking about golf a little bit, and then when you kind of part ways from the conversation, it's the classic like, dude, we got to get out on the course soon.
Yep.
But you getting out on the course and making that, like, it never happens.
No.
I'd say 5 to 10% of the time do you actually say that and then get out on the course with that person. And I feel like the reason for that is because you don't have the golf course rapport or like the built-in vibes already golfing with that person where you're kind of unsure of what it's going to be like. So when you can get your regular group of guys together, it's unmatched.
For sure. All-time vibe. Big fan. And I'm going to say it. We've been saying it for now a year and a half. We got to get the group together for a scramble. I'm tired of saying it. We're going to take a break. During the fucking break, I'm going to find us a scramble.
Let's do it.
All right.
And mind you, my cart partner just, I wasn't paying attention to like his score at all. Just casually shot 76.
Damn.
Jeez.
So
Good for him.
moving on.
Yeah. Let's take a quick break and we'll be right back. We're back.
You're
Trevor.
Find any scrambles?
Fuck, I forgot to
I did
look.
not.
Pause.
There's some in August I know they're coming up.
It's got to be 18-holer.
Oh yeah. Well, I got a little story from
It's
this
gotta-
weekend.
Okay. Yep. You go into story mode and
Tyler will find some.
find a scramble.
Yes.
So I played Ren's course at the lake on Sunday.
My course.
Played with some buddies, and one buddy's like girlfriend's brother-in-law's or something. I don't really know how he
Buddy's
was.
girlfriend's brother. Okay.
So whatever.
Following.
Didn't really know him, but whatever. Got 4 summer out there playing.
Good guy.
Oh yeah, good guy.
Nice.
I guess there was a little incident the last time he was out there with them. He got very drunk, but
Ooh.
he knew to not test his limits this time. So
Well, if he got the invite back, that's saying something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So playing there, my cart partner is my roommate. Second hole, he goes on the par 3, water twice. So he's hitting 5. He just went and dropped in the fairway. He goes, well, my round's over already. I'm like, oh, okay. Great mood already. Hole
We got
2.
16 holes, 17 and a half holes to go, and
Yep.
16 and a half holes to go.
I'm like, great. This is going to be a great round now. So forgot how to play the front 9. I was 13 over through 9 holes.
Holy shit. Trevor.
So I ended the round on 18 birdies and I started a fresh 9 on the back 9.
There we go.
And then I played, I think I shot 6 over with 3 putts and then a double on the last hole because I just couldn't chip. So figured out how to play. That would have been 3, 4, 5 strokes. So I should have been like 1 over.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the 3 putts, and I keep saying, if you can eliminate double bogeys and
Mhm.
eliminate penalty shots, you're going to be playing some pretty fun golf.
oh yeah.
And I think I want to get away from talking about playing good golf, because I guess like good golf is different in everybody's mind. Good golf for us is like shooting 81, 82. Really
Yep.
good
Yeah,
golf for
I'm
us.
ecstatic if I'm in the 80s.
For sure.
Yeah.
Really good golf for us is like 78, 79.
Yep.
And that's different for everybody. So like, I think we'll start talking about playing fun golf.
For sure.
Yep.
For sure. And I mean, I think the thing that made golf fun for me right away when I started is I didn't play by the rules. I had my own set of rules that my grandfather taught me that made the game feel a little less serious and a lot more fun because I wasn't upset about everything all the time.
Yeah. And if you're just getting into golf, what do you mean you don't play by the rules? Shut up for a second, okay? If you're just getting into golf and you are like, if you're playing by the strict rules and putting everything out,
And you don't know what you're doing, you're going to be miserable.
oh, if you've been playing golf for even a few years, you understand how miserable the sport can be.
It can get you down quick.
Because eventually you're going to get to a point where you're like, all right, I'm going to play this entire course out today. I want to see what I would actually shoot on an 18-hole course by putting everything out and doing this. But if you're just starting out and you've maybe been playing for a summer or even just a couple rounds, you got to kind of just have your own set of rules as a tee time, if you will.
Yeah, without a doubt. Like with your group, I mean, if you're a brand new golfer and you're trying to make the game fun, these are the rules that I would recommend. First rule, it's going to be controversial, but I know groups do it. I do it personally, and it makes the round a hell of a lot better. The max score you can get on a hole is an 8.
Boom.
Yep.
Yep. And you keep track of those. And if you get a true 8, like you actually scored an 8, you circle that shit like a birdie. Because at the end of the round, if you tie a buddy, whoever has the most true 8s wins the tiebreaker.
Boom.
So you could get a 15. It's an 8 on the scorecard. It makes you feel so much better. And you probably forget what you actually got on the hole.
Oh, definitely.
You look at it at the end and you got an 8 and you're like, I know it wasn't an 8, but you don't feel terrible about getting that 15 from going into the water 3 times.
Well, and if you're chipping for 9 from 30 yards away, it's like, well, fuck, I already got an 8 on the scorecard.
Or-
let's just have fun with this.
Yeah, or like you're on the fringe and it's for 8. It makes that you care about that shot.
For
You're
sure.
like, I got to get this true 8.
I got to get that circled.
So that's one of the rules. Another rule, mulligans, baby. At least 1 each 9. Give yourself a chance to get better.
Definitely.
Like, if you hit a shot so atrociously bad, do not sit and think about it. Just hit another one.
Hit another one. Because, and you guys all know this, like if you hit one in the water or you hit one really bad and then you just drop another one and hit it again, that second shot is always the best shot. Because you can just make that little tiny tweak. Like if you know that much about the swing mechanics and all that,
Right.
at this point, like you make one little tiny tweak and you're like, hey, you're back.
Yeah, especially if it's like you're brand new and you hit a shot that goes 12 yards because you barely nicked it with the toe.
Yep.
You can't really do worse. So just hit another ball. You forget about that first one. It's not going on your scorecard. It's a mulligan.
Definitely. I would say another one is if you're hitting balls left and right and you're losing balls left and right, don't be afraid to just drop a ball up with your playing partner. Like, let's just say like they hit a fairway and you've lost 2 off the tee. Just go drop with him in the fairway and work on your, 150 yard shot into the pin from the short grass.
Did that shit all the time when I started.
Yeah, because
Why not? Right?
It's like, just, I mean, why
you're not
go?
going to get better just hitting balls into people's yards over and over.
Correct.
And punching out of the fescue or the trees or anything like you got to learn how to hit. We'll call them the easy shots right away.
Yes. You got to learn how to hit the easy shots before you can hit the hard ones.
Correct. Yes.
Which leads me to my next rule. The foot wedge is fully in play. Like if you are in just the most atrocious lie, we are not on tour. Pull that shit out of the tree roots. Pull that thing out of the fescue. Hit it out of the short stuff. Like you don't need to take your ball and throw it into the middle of the fairway. But if you need to get on flat ground because you don't know how to hit when the ball's 6 feet above you, pull it out.
Pull it out of the divot. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Hey, we're trying to have fun here. We're trying to get better here. And like I just said, you it's hard to get better when your ball is resting up against a tree and you have to chip it off the toe backwards into the fairway or the rough or whatever.
I mean, just, there's nothing you can gain from that. Like you can learn how to do that when you're good at golf, but when you're not good at golf and you're just trying to have fun, there's no point in stressing yourself out with that.
100%.
Okay, I got a controversial one.
Okay.
My one buddy last year, we were playing and he goes, just pulls the ball out of the bunker. He goes, yeah, we're not playing out of the bunkers today. Just put it on grass. Like we don't need to, that's not us.
I don't hate
I was like, all right, I love it.
That's one thing you are going to have to learn pretty quick. So maybe right away that rule, but that's probably one of the first of these rules to phase out when you start getting a little more serious.
It is hitting out of the bunker.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times did it take you more than one shot to get out of the bunker? So it's like,
yeah, when you first start, for sure, it's a hole ruiner. Like when I first started golfing, you remember how bad, I'm still not good out of the sand, but I can at least get out. Remember how bad I was when I first started? If I went into the sand trap, I just knew that I was going to write down an 8. Like it didn't 100%. Matter if it was a par 3 or not. Because I just had no idea how to get out of the sand. I'd never gotten any instruction.
But if we're working on hitting out of the grass to begin with, like we ain't got to be hitting out of the sand.
Yep.
It's just and it also saves time because you don't have to rake bunkers.
Right. And when we say like learn the easy shots first, we're not saying every time you need to hit out of the fairway. We're saying pull it away from the tree and it's still in the rough. Like you're still in some trouble. We're not saying completely ruin, like completely cheat. Just cheat a little.
You don't have a tree in your backswing. You don't have to worry about hitting a tree or branches or roots. So
if your ball rolls underneath an evergreen, don't squat down and try and choke up 4 feet on the club and try and punch it out.
Yeah, we're basically taking unplayables without the stroke.
Correct.
So if it's unplayable, don't even attempt it. Just pull that shit out.
Yeah. I'd say another one that people should definitely start to adopt if you're just getting into playing golf is this is a big thing for me. Bring or buy your favorite drink to the golf course. So, hey, if you're a big, let's say, Diet Mountain Dew fan, bring a 20-ounce Diet Mountain Dew, fucking ice cold, throw a koozie on that thing. And it's one more thing that just like, because it's something that I look forward to having a Celsius in the morning. So when I go play a morning round, I bring a Celsius with, and it's such a great way to start things out because you're sipping your favorite drink. Maybe that's a whiskey Coke. Grab a whiskey Coke at the clubhouse, even if it's fucking 9 a.m. on Saturday
in the morning.
Doesn't matter.
First tea time.
Because when your favorite drink hits your lips, you're like, God, this is such a
It
good
is
feeling.
kind of like a state of mind learning situation. You know, all the professors told you if you chew gum while you study, you should chew gum during the test.
For sure. Yeah.
It's kind of that's another reason where like a golf superstition. Like if I was drinking whiskey 7s during my best round ever, you bet your ass the next round I'm drinking whiskey 7s.
Until you play a shitty round
and then
on whiskey 7s.
Yep.
You're going to keep playing with them. I think that one, and it's a very minor detail, but anything to start around that can just lift your mood up.
Yeah.
If you start high, even if the vibes drop a little bit, you're still close to cloud nine.
One other thing too that's made me have more fun with golf is giving other people like grace. Like even if they're out of their mulligans that we predetermined before the round, just be like, hey dude, hit another one. Because it's like they're like you feel good about yourself because they're having more fun, and it's a whole thing. I don't know.
Give them some longer gimmies.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I call them graveyard gimmies. Anything 6 feet and under.
I like that.
Hey, like I'll give you the putt, but just putt it out for confidence anyway.
Yeah.
Because if you give them the putt, then they're gonna have that much more confidence in the putt because hey, I'm already in the hole.
Yeah, and that is an actual rule that we play. Not 6 feet, but rubbers.
Yeah.
If it's inside the grip on your putter head's in the hole situation, and the ball is inside the grip, auto gimme, no debating it whatsoever.
Sure. Another one for me here is, and this, I don't know, this might be a personal one, but get an early morning tee time.
It is a great vibe.
When you can like, when you're standing on the first tee with like the sun just coming up, people in like the self-development world talk about grounding, and whether you believe in grounding or not, like getting up when the sun's coming up, you get up, you walk with some bare feet on the grass. It's just like, it feels good. And I think the same can translate over to golf. Like you get into that really good mindset of like, fuck, what a great start to the day. Again, raises the vibes way up high. Even if they drop a little bit, they're still going to be good.
Well, last summer, Trevor and I got a 6:10 a.m. tee time. And
Hell yeah.
we played 18.
Dude,
And
let's
it
go.
was the first tee time, and we got in like on time to work. And I also shot a PR that round.
God,
So just because like, and we weren't
stress levels
what
are
a
low.
great way to start your day.
exactly.
Fantastic.
No, I guarantee you we had a great day. I mean, it was last year, but I know for a fact that
And you still remember it.
exactly.
I bet you can remember specific shots from that round.
for sure.
Yeah.
Stress levels are way lower because the course isn't jam packed.
Yeah.
As a new golfer, you don't have anxiety about the people behind you or trying to keep pace with the people in front of you. It just makes things much easier. Or twilight round.
Yeah.
Anything beginning or end of the day.
The only thing I don't like about Twilight Round is even if the course isn't busy, I feel rushed against the sun.
Sure.
Mhm.
That makes
It's like
sense.
I want to get my money's worth. I want to get this round done. I gotta speed up. I gotta zoom.
Yeah.
Yep.
And 9 times out of 10, I finish well before the sun sets.
Yep.
But it's just like in the back of my head nagging.
No, I haven't played a twilight round in years.
That Twilight rounds are probably one of the most difficult rounds with children. Because like
Yeah.
you could maybe sneak one in the middle of the day at work while the kids are at daycare. You can definitely get one in the morning because the kids are going to daycare.
Yep.
After work, like that's when you're supposed to be parenting.
We should maybe get a 6 a.m. on this Friday.
I'm down. I have to bring my kid. It's tradition.
That is true. Shit.
You can tag along.
Hey, he's an all right kid.
Well, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm not saying shit. We gotta go with your kid. I'm saying shit. If we get a 6 a.m., then can he leave the house by 5:30?
He can. Daycare would kill me because he would be an asshole before nap.
That's where
I picked him up that Friday, and they're like, he had a tough morning, but then after his nap, he was good. I'm like, well, I don't know why that happened. Weird. I wonder why he was so tired.
Yeah. Hey, lady, if you have to wake up at the ass crack of dawn and you don't get a full night's sleep before a nap, you're going to be pretty cranky too.
No, I just didn't say a word that I brought him golfing.
But he got donut holes. He should be fine.
Exactly. It
He's-
should- it
so he had
wasn't
the sugar crash and he was tired. I just ruined that
Yeah.
day.
It wasn't a lack of sleep. It was the sugar
Yeah.
rush for sure.
Yeah, I prepared Thursday night. I stopped at the gas station. I bought him the most sugary juice ever, but it had Sonic on it, and he loves Sonic.
Ooh, a good one.
So he had super sugary juice and a bunch of donut holes, and then I was like, "You're not my problem anymore. Go to daycare. I'm paying you." So
Just give her. You should have just gave her the rest of the donut holes to keep the sugar
I
rush
should have.
going.
I should have given him a Celsius, and then he'd have been fine through nap.
Holy
God.
shit. A 4-year-old on a cell. Do not recommend that. But I can only imagine what his personality
The
was.
zoomies.
Oh man.
And then just a crash.
Yep. With all these rules, I mean, the biggest and most important thing of all these rules is to play with other people that accept those rules.
Correct.
Because it would be a real kick in the nuts for you to listen to this podcast and then get a 15 and then someone bitches at you for writing an 8 down.
Yeah.
Just clear the air before you start swinging them.
It's like, hey, buddy, you're a fucking 6 handicap, and I'm a 38.
They don't
What
have,
do you expect?
yeah. Like they're still going to beat you even if you use those rules. So like tell them to take a chill pill.
Playing with the right people is very important. Which I think we're pretty good. Like we could bring a 38 handicap out and like if they're a good time, it's going to be no problem. But also like if you're out with a 38 handicap and they're getting pissed off at every shot and all, like you have no right to get pissed off I'd even say like as an above an 18 handicap, you got no right to get pissed off. We're all hitting bad shots. That's the name of the game. Why we put ourselves through that torture on a weekly basis, I don't know, but it gives us something to be like competitive against ourselves, you know?
Yep, for sure. But yeah, any other rules you guys want to add before we leave you?
I think you should really be able to savor in the good shots. So if let's say you hit a good drive and you can't find it, I think you should be allowed a free drop.
Yes.
Is that the gallery rule?
Yes, gallery rule for
100%.
sure. Absolutely need to add that.
Leaf
Yes.
rule.
It's so frustrating when you hit a good shot and you can't find it. And you know, and your whole group knows, we should be able to find this. That was an incredible shot. And as a beginner, that's got to be extra discouraging when 1 out of every 50 to 100 shots is actually playable and good. So you actually hit that one well and you can't find it. I think a free drop should be warranted for anybody.
You're 100% correct. The gallery rule and the leaf rule are absolutely included in this. The one caveat to that is I think in order to take that, it almost has to be given to you.
For sure.
Because it's like, I don't know. I've seen people abuse that rule where they're like, oh, it definitely shouldn't have gone into that yard. It should be right here. And I didn't see it. And I'm like, well, whatever, go ahead. And then it's in the back of my mind, like that bitch is cheating.
Yeah.
You know exactly who I'm talking about.
And you might like, people might be wondering like, well, if you hit a good shot, how, like, wouldn't that just be in the fairway? It's like, hey, you could be 10 yards off the fairway, which for this type of golfer could be a good shot. And
It's still, you don't find the damn thing.
well, no, exactly. Like it could have like, you know, they don't always trim around the trees. It could be in the long grass around, like right next to a tree.
Yeah, it
The
could
rough-
just fall in like a little hole,
Yes.
dip in the ground,
The
thick grass.
the rough at MCC is super thick.
Right.
And if a ball, like if it rolls in the rough correctly, like sometimes you can just see the top of the ball.
Right.
So-
and then the leaf rule, it's in the fall. There's leaves everywhere. Your ball could be under one of a million different leaves.
Correct.
And so free drops, dude. Just take a guess of where you think it went. You're good to go. Oh, and another rule I'd add on to this as well. This one may be controversial. I don't know. But if you're a beginning golfer and you hit it in the water and it's like a long water, don't drop where it entered. Drop to the closest point.
How about just pull it, like if you were to pull your ball out of the water, just pull it straight
Yep.
vertical.
Yep. Perpendicular drops.
Yeah, perpendicular. Yep. Don't punish yourself. There's no need. Like if you catch the bug, and if you catch the bug, that means you're going to be golfing probably for the rest of your life or the
Mhm.
next couple of years at least. You got time to start playing seriously. Just focus on the good things right away. Have fun with it, and then you can start getting serious when you tell yourself, "Hey, I think it's time to take it to the next level." That being playing by the rules.
Yep. Love it.
What do you fucking mean you're not playing by the rules? Pulling a ball perpendicular from the water slows pace of play by 2.5 hours. Shut up, John.
God.
Yeah, take it easy, John.
One last thing.
One more. I
Give it
like
to
this. This we got to write our own regular guy rule book.
Give it to us.
Not a rule about the
Ooh.
round.
Okay.
So on one of the back nines of par 4, the one guy we're playing with, that my buddy's whatever relative,
Shit-faced brother-in-law.
he got pissed because he like 3 or 4 putted, and I'm going to put my putter into my cart, and it's like just like 12 feet away or whatever. He smokes his ball from the green with his putter, smokes the cart, hits me in the chest, and then I catch it.
Oh, that's kind of a baller.
I
move by you,
was
though.
just like, first off, what goes through your mind to just hit your ball off the green with your putter like that at the carts?
Dude.
And I like nobody knew it hit me until like 2 holes later. I was like, yeah, it like really hit me.
I would have thrown that ball as far as I could have into the woods.
I was just like,
I would have kept it.
this random dude just hit a ball and just smokes me.
And this is a guy you'd never played with before.
Never met him
Fuck
before.
that guy.
What do you say?
He just goes, "You caught that?" Because nobody knew it like hit me. They just thought it hit the cart and I caught it.
You hit that?
He said, "You caught that?"
No,
And
I
I'm
know.
like-
You should be like, you hit that?
I was like, I was already pissed at the round, so I just like didn't say anything. I was like, whatever. Yeah, I got hit
you
today.
are
I got hit
bigger
this
man
round.
than I.
Damn.
My insides are boiling right now, and I wasn't
Yeah.
even there. I would have at least thrown his ball at an inconvenient distance from him to go get.
Will not be playing with him again.
Good. You shouldn't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say flip the script. That's like top 3 things to not do.
Yeah.
for
For
sure.
beginners, do not tee off on your with your putter
At your own cart.
Yeah.
at your own cart.
Well, especially
it's just like that's a sign of respect.
Imagine it
thing
hits
for
me
everybody you're playing.
higher or anywhere else besides like my chest.
Yeah. Well, that happened to me at Leonard. Kind of. It was one of Ryan's buddies actually. I was on the hole 9 tee box.
Which buddy?
I don't remember his name. He told you about it though. I was on the hole 9 tee box at Leonard, and it's pretty close to the other green, pretty close to the hole 8 green. So
Yeah.
his tee shot, he hit it onto the tee box, which is fine. I get it. The course is designed poorly in that spot to where you could get hit by an errant tee shot. So he hit it on the tee box, didn't hit us, and then proceeds to finish the hole. And we're still waiting to tee off on 9, and he putts bad. So he spazzed and hit his ball, and then his ball hit our group, hit one of my buddies. And I was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
We got to figure out who this was.
Yeah. I mean, they told you about it. And I took his ball. I threw it in the trees.
Huh. I don't remember that. But I mean, you wear a helmet to Leonard.
Yeah.
Balls
Especially
flying
on
everywhere.
the last corner. Yep.
Oh,
Yes.
God.
To piggyback off of what you had just said, Trevor, I did have my first club throw of the season.
Really?
First?
I'm pretty good at like taming my emotions down, but it was on the hole that I got a 10 on. And now, mind you, I thought the club throw through before I actually did it. I like walked past everybody on the green. So it was just a clear lane with everyone else behind me. I had a clear lane to the cart. So I just took my wedge, and it wasn't a throw. It was more of a flip. But it was, the carts were probably 30, 40 yards away. And it was like a 20-yard flip of the wedge over to the cart. Like, I mean, a little bit out of frustration. But just to see like a club kind of like punish your club and like bounce 4 feet in the air after it lands. It was a pretty good feeling.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But I
Every
thought,
time I do anything remotely, like, no offense, spazzy.
oh yeah, for sure.
Anytime I do anything remotely spazzy on the golf course after performing bad, I feel worse.
Really?
I felt great.
It's
No.
not therapeutic for me to throw my clubs. It
I would say
doesn't work for me.
I would say to make a rule out of that for beginners, just to go back to our rules, I would say give yourself 5 seconds before you do anything stupid. Because there's 5 seconds where you're like, I'm throwing my club. I don't give a fuck. You throw it, you feel like, and then you just feel like an idiot.
Yeah.
Immediately after you do it. Like, I'm sure right after he teed off on that off the green, he
Yep.
was like, why did I do that? But it's just like out of frustration, there's 5 seconds where like anything goes in your mind. You're like, I'm so mad. I'm going to throw my club 50 yards.
Yeah, I
Where
think
then you let go and you're like, God, that was stupid. Why did I do that? Then you walk it down, feeling like walk of shame, feel like a big dumb idiot.
I felt great. I felt like I was on top of the world at that point.
No,
It felt well, and I think it took me about 10 seconds to like walk past everyone in the group on the green and like have that clear lane. Had I not done that, I probably would have overhand threw it 50 yards instead of underhand flipped it 20 yards.
You got a club slam. It's way more relieving.
See, I'm not a big
never done it.
I'm not a big club slammer because number one, it like I feel like that can fuck your club up more than just flipping it. Maybe I'm wrong. And number two, it just like it I don't know. If you're going blade down like an iron or something, you'll put a hole in the earth.
I think what the thing that I do the most when I'm frustrated is just take the pin and stab it into the green as far as possible.
Or you could treat it like a javelin into the water.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I take my cart and I drive it into a tree.
No, into the pond.
Hell yeah. All right, ladies and gents, that's episode 200 for you. We'll be back again next week, 201. We might try and sneak out to a course and do like a mobile pod just to get out of the studio a little bit.
Yeah, and there's a shitload of scrambles on Mondays and Tuesdays for some reason.
It's just it's a tough day. Can we get a Friday morning scramble?
Yeah, I don't get it. There's like 10 of them coming up, but they're all Monday or Tuesday.
I don't get it. Maybe there's reasoning behind it. I don't get it. We'll figure something out.
Yep. All right. Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Thanks for sticking with us for 200 of these.
201 next week.
They piped that the wrong way.
I'll call the clubhouse. We'll book in another 18 for tomorrow.
Okay, they cheated on that. They fluffed their balls.
Yeah, no better time for the breakfast ball than now.